Hey guys, this is Ashley. Welcome on back to my channel. So, I have a fun one. It is time. It's time. We need to talk about the last set of palettes that I've tried, okay? So, we're going to rank some palettes that I've tried on camera, and then I have a few palettes that, you know, one is kind of new to me. I just got it last week, and then some I've had for a couple of months, but because of time, I haven't had a chance to talk about them on camera, but I did want to mention them, so that's these right here. But before we get started, if you are new to my channel, welcome, and if you're an oldie but goodie, welcome on back. My name is Ashley. I have a doctorate in pharmacy, and I love makeup, so that's how you get Dr. Ash and her makeup. But please just call me Ash or Ashley, and eyeshadow is really my jam. So you already know that. So, oh my gosh, I just feel like I've been buying eyeshadow palettes, but unfortunately I haven't really had any instant gratification because a lot of stuff has been pre-order. But you know what? We have some palettes to talk about right here. So we're gonna rank these palettes right here. And this is just like, I don't know, this ranking is kind of unfair. It's just kind of like, you got to put the palettes somewhere, if you know what I mean, because these set of palettes right here I really love, and I've had a lot of fun playing with. So you know what, we might as well just get down business, okay? So coming in at number 5, and I do have a video up on this. Well, okay, all the palettes we're talking about right now, I got a video up on, okay, all right. So number 5, like I said, this ranking is so unfair. This is Ashleigh and Cosmetics Serendipity palette. This palette is freaking gorgeous. First of all, let's take a moment to appreciate the artwork that Serendipity gave us. I mean, it's just so different, so unique. Ashleigh and Cosmetics just kind of has to believe that, you know, it's not that you're from outer space and you're a weirdo, but it's just like, it's just different, it's unique, it's a little bit out the box, and I like that, and I have really been enjoying this brand ever since I discovered that, and it's all the fault of Beauty Universe. It's just her fault. Yeah, no, for real, it's her fault. So this is the Serendipity palette, and this palette, I believe at the moment, is out of stock, but this palette is frequently restocked on a pre-order. Now, I did just kind of fuss about how I've been waiting on a bunch of pre-orders, but at least with Ashleigh and Cosmetics, the pre-order situation is not that deep, okay? So maybe about 3-4 weeks, you know, so they'll do it. They'll do a small batch or something that they can handle, and they get it out quickly. They're based out of Brooklyn, New York, so, you know, you get the products pretty fast. But this palette is gorgeous. It kind of has like a paper mache vibe to it with this gorgeous artwork. I love the metallic gold. Then inside you have a mirror. And then once you pull it back, you have this beautiful color story. I mean, the color story is amazing. I really didn't even know where to put this palette, but I think it just kind of ended up at number 5. Only because against the other palettes, it's like you have more clear-cut color stories, where this palette is like, I really get inspired to use it. I really like using it, but I do kind of have to think about the colors, the placements, how I want to put these shadows together. Now you have this beautiful duochrome shade right here, and this one is also, it has like a cranberry, it's a cranberry shade with kind of like an orange shift. These actually, and then you have a duochrome right here, this green. So these 3 shades right here are just magnificent. This palette retails for around $30. It does seem a little bit more expensive, but for the quality that you get with these shadows, it is just impeccable. I mean, the mattes are great. You got deep dark tones, you got that pop of yellow, you have the red, you have this satin shade right here that just layers well, and I am a fan. Like, once this palette came on pre-order back in, I think, December, January, I was like, I have to have it. I have to have it. So, it's unfairly at number 5. Okay, so like I said, we got to put them someplace. So number 4 is Natasha Denona Circo Loco palette. I had a lot of fun playing with this palette. Now I feel like there are some pops and I feel like there's some duds in this palette. Okay, the shade that I could care less about is the shade Spiral. Why is it here? We did not need this. Natasha, what are you doing? Because first of all, we have this shade, right here. We also have Firework, and then we also have Cannon. So all we really needed was Cannon and Firework. We didn't need this shade. It's pretty much lackluster. It does not impress me at all. I don't plan on using it. I've maybe swatched it, and that's the extent of me using it. I really don't care about it. So now you knock a 15 palette down to 4, but you do have some very beautiful pops of color. You have this creamy matte formulation right here where we're talking about the shade Acrobat, which is beautiful because you know when you have the creamy matte formulation by Natasha Denona, it's going to blend out like a dream. The 2 standout shades, I think it's probably like 3 standout shades actually. The shade Snow Cone and the shade Airless are gorgeous. You're talking about bomb all over the lids, bomb as integral highlights. I mean, it is gorgeous. Then the shade Razzle Dazzle. This fuchsia right here is one of the best fuchsias I've ever tried. I actually like this shade better than Fuchsia Shock that's in Celestial Divinity. I like it better than the fuchsia shade whatever's in Rose Decadence by Mother Pat. And I feel like this fuchsia shade pops. It's not hard to work with. Maybe you just need to like wet the brush with some setting spray and it just instantly delivers, or you're not digging into it. I think it's so beautiful. The shade Cotton Candy is okay. It's rather light on my particular skin complexion, but it does blend in very well with Magic. And Magic is a beautiful blur pool. So I really feel like it's unfair for this palette to be like so down in the ranking, but we're only ranking like 5 palettes at the moment. So like I said, it has to go somewhere, but it's things that I really appreciate about this palette and things I don't. I've also had a lot of fun combining this palette with other palettes by Natasha Denona. Like I did a video where you see this palette combined with Trio Chrome, and that look turned out to be amazing. So I really appreciate the color, the pops, how you can mix and match with this palette. The color story on here, when you look, it does seem a little mumble jumbled up, but the good thing about Natasha Denona, you know, it has these little pinholes so you can pop it out and move it around to get a color story that maybe, you know, works a little bit better for you, gives you a little bit more inspiration, and just makes it easier for your eye to figure out what shades you want to put on. But overall, I feel like this is a really great palette. But I don't know if it's Natasha's best work, but I do really like it. Coming in at number 3 is Fairy Frolic by Ashleigh Cosmetics. So this one is also pretty much standard to their line as well. This is the palette that I'm wearing on my eyes. And my video did just go up pretty much right before this one with the 3 looks 1 palette. But I have been using this palette ever since I received it back in December. I want to say I received this palette. December? No. January. I've had it for a long time. Okay, it's April, it's gonna be May in a hot second. I've had it, I use it regularly, and it is stunning. First of all, this shade right here, Frolic, I've also believed that this shade is gonna be included in the All I Ever Wanted palette, and it's all over my lid. It was effortless. It just blended out like a dream. I didn't have to do anything with it. Like, it just went over the lid so wonderful. I just thought that it was just such a great shade. And then this middle shade right here is such a great deepening shade. You have these 2 right here. The teal just pops it off with the mustard. I think you just get like glam goodness. And the reason why I rated this one a little bit higher than the Serendipity, and I really like both, but like I was just saying, like I feel like with this one you get a little bit more options. You get the green, you get the neutrals, you get the grungy glam. With this one, like I said, you have to think just a tiny bit more. You got to spend a little bit more time thinking about what type of look to put together. There's this one, it's just kind of like a no-brainer, and you can kind of, if you're just more into neutrals with just that pop of color, it does really work well where you could just kind of put it on, throw it on, and go. Coming in at number 2, if you have been on my channel in the past few weeks, past couple of months, seen any of my videos recently, you know that I have fallen head over heels for the Glam shop out of Poland. Like, I love this brand. This is like the best find ever of 2021. I am so glad I've ordered from them. I have placed, at this point, 4 orders for myself, and then Karen and I did a birthday order for Yadi Beauty for her birthday. And I mean, has it been 3? 1, 2, 1, 2, and it was 3. It might have been my 5th order, because see what happens is, right? every time I place an order, she comes out with some new stuff. And you know I want the new stuff. So I did just place an order for the camo palette. But right now we are talking about the Zielone palette. This palette is freaking gorgeous. The shades are amazing. Of course, this is a green palette. You guys know I love green eyeshadows, but they have so many monochromatic palettes on their website, and it is gorgeous. Like, first of all, you're not gonna find any shimmers like this ever in life. Like, these shimmers are dope. These are not glitters. If anything, these are pearls in here, but 1, 2, 3, 4 are definitely more of like their turbo. This is more of their regular standard shimmers. I mean, the glow, the shine, the duochrome. I mean, you just get it all. Like, this is just perfection in a palette. And the Glam shop is really not that expensive, y'all. Like, it's really not. Like, I want to say this palette retails for about 16 to 19 euros. So it makes it a little bit more expensive when you think about the exchange rate. They do have an affordable shipping option, which is about 9 euros, but that takes 3 weeks. If you want the more expensive / the fast shipping, which takes 10 days through UPS, that is about 22, 23 euros. So that's what the dilemma comes in when it comes to me with the Glam shop. I'm like, my last order I just placed though, I was just like, yeah, I'm going to do the 9 euro shipping. I'm not going to do this. But they have sales all the time. This palette is just so gorgeous. I mean, first of all, this shade Buzz, it is so smooth. It is like one of the most beautiful duochrome shades that you'll ever find. The shade that is called Nectar, that's in the middle. I mean, if you love green shadows, like, I mean, honestly, I definitely have 3 looks on my channel with this. This one is not as shiny, but it is gorgeous. Can't get the finger right. There we go. This finger, I mean, it is just gorgeous nonetheless. I'm just so impressed with this palette. The mattes are beautiful. You get this Propa neon yellow, you get your grungy green, you got your dark forest green, you got your Kelly green. It's just like, if you love green, honey, this is for you. You need to just go ahead and get it and thank me later. Okay, coming in at number 1, Club Nebula. I mean, it's gorgeous. Like, can anybody say, like, first of all, I'm such a big fan of Kaleidos. And then you find out that Angie is partnering with Kaleidos. So you know it's going to be dope because of the type of things that she likes. So if you love color, but this one you get such an arrangement of color. Like, so compared to Natasha Denona's palette, like, you get a lot of interesting color stories, but the color story is kind of all over the place versus this palette. Let's see if I can do this, because y'all know I will drop some stuff. Okay. So I feel like this color story, it seems a little bit more muted, but I promise you it's not. But this particular one is kind of all over the place. You feel like you really have to think about it. This one you don't. You have so many complementary colors. You have so many things that work with each other. You have the dual chromes. The shimmers are beautiful. My favorite little matte section of this palette is this little quad right here. And okay, let's pop in the lime green. I love that. The shimmers are beautiful. First of all, they're topper. First of all, they have like a base pigment to it as well. They're duochromes. So if you pair them with certain mattes, you know it's going to take on the shift of the other shades. It is a beautiful thought out palette. You can get some neutral looks with this little peachy red situation right here. And even this little, you know, kind of sometimes obligatory or, you know, like mandatory brown nude shade. This shade, Naru, actually works on my complexion and it's grungy. One of my favorite shades though in this particular palette is Rock Hopper. You guys know I love a gray matte. Like, my gray matte is like my friend. I don't see her all the time, but when we link up, it's like we never skipped a beat. So like, I love it. And with Zielone, these two are a bomb. Like, I mean, the color combos are just infinite with this. I think I have like 5 looks on my channel with this palette. It's beautiful. I love the packaging, the outside packaging. It looks so fun. It looks opulent. It's a little bit thicker, but in order, like, I mean, it's not too bulky where I feel like, oh my God, what am I gonna do with this packaging? You know what I mean? I think The attention to detail is great, but Kaleidos always has great attention to detail, because like every time I talk about Kaleidos, I always tell you, when it comes to my collection and I think about packaging, I'm automatically thinking about Kaleidos, Melt, and Mama Pack. Packaging, hands down, they kill it every time. The theme, they just carry it throughout the whole packaging. I just think it's so well executed, and it was beautiful. I was just a little bit impatient waiting for it. Here's the thing, okay, when it comes to palettes, I'm like, I can wait, I know it's shipping out, but then everybody else starts getting theirs and I don't have mine. I feel some type of way. So that is number one. So like I said, I have a couple of palettes that I want to talk about that, you know, you guys might want some feedback on, but I haven't used them on camera. So let's jump into this bad boy right here. This is Blend Bunny Cosmetics Blends Palette, 30 matte pigments for the perfect blend. Baby, okay, I just got this palette last week. I want to see how this retails for about $36. And okay, so what made me get this palette? First of all, Kara was talking about it. Then I saw Ruth talking about it. And then Amanda, the owner of Alien Cosmetics, she used this when she demoed her All I Ever Wanted palette. I was like, dang, that's gorgeous. Then I was watching a Glam Shop video with Bad to the Brow, and she pulled this out. And I'm not really a rainbow palette type of girl. Like, I have my Colored Rain Power Pigments. You guys know if I need a matte, usually I'll jump into my Viseart palette, you know, so I can just get like a base shade for some of my single shadows, or use, you know, something in my palettes, you know. But I felt like this was affordable and like one of the best rainbow palettes I have ever seen in my entire life. And it blends like a dream. Like, this is lending to his name. When she says this blend bunny, honey, it is blending to perfection. The color story, well, it's just a rainbow palette, but you literally have everything you need. You have beautiful oranges and reds. You have your greens. You have your lime greens. You got the grungy greens. You got your blues. You got the grunge. The same with the purples. You got your pinks. And look at this bottom row. Like, you actually have your transition shades. Like, you know, orangey creases are still hot, the orangey browns. Like, you literally have everything you need. And I'm here to say, I have used this a couple times. It blends so well. I believe at the moment it is out of stock, but when it comes back, you need to get your hands on it, because I want to say it's only about $35. So that's not bad for all of these shades. It blends well. All of the mattes layer well on top of each other. I did probably use this in a video for you guys. Yes, I did show this in a video when I did my hollow shades. Yes, with the Glam Shop, see? But this is gorgeous. Like, if you are just looking for that one palette that will give you all the colors of the rainbow and you want to be one and done, I would recommend this. Like I said, I'm not really a rainbow palette type of girl. I'm really not. No, that's not me. I know a lot of people, they have so many different rainbow palettes and like they really didn't need this, but I just feel like this is so beautiful. It is definitely living up to the hype, because sometimes the few things that I have had as rainbow palettes that are no longer in my collection, they were just all right. But this, she's here to stay. I think it's beautiful. The packaging is light, it's compact, it's a big palette, but it's still small at the same time. I mean, it's not that much bigger than this Natasha Denona palette, to be honest. It's just a little bit higher up, but it's just more shades. So I feel like this is just a fabulous find. Okay, next up I have two items from Odins Eye Cosmetics. So I don't know how to feel about this, honestly. I have not used this on camera. I have used this in, you know, my off-camera life, I guess you would call it. But, okay, I'm going to start with the Erd palette. So I only picked up two. There were actually this big palette with the Norn's series. And then there were 3 mini palettes that went along with the Norn's sisters. So I have the Erd one. And, of course, you're going to see why I have the Erd, because it's great. But I feel like the color story is gorgeous. But as far as performance, I'm happy I have it. But at the same time, I'm not like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, the mattes played well. They were okay. They were a little powdery. It took a little much for me to blend them out. But then the shimmers, they're kind of like, I don't know, they're highly foiled, but they have that stickiness to them sometimes that they don't always lay the best. I kind of relay that sticky matte formula to some of Huda Beauty's palettes. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's textured. So I felt like this palette has some beautiful shades. It was a little bit different from some of the green stuff that I do have, but I felt like it was beautiful, but it was just all right. Same with this one. Now this is gorgeous. Like, when you look at the color scheme, you're like, oh my gosh, like, yes, like we have some duochromes, we got some marble shades, you got these beautiful shades down here. It is beautiful. But out of all the stuff that I've tried lately, I can say I'm least impressed about this. Like, it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but I'm not like running to use it. You know what I mean? Like, now this shade is absolutely stunning, but the performance was just okay. I got a good look. I don't feel like it was my best look. I don't feel like it was my worst look. It was just okay. So I may try Odins Eye again. I know a lot of people really love Odins Eye, but I feel like my bar has just been like, because after trying the Glam shop, honey, and you guys have seen my videos, and that single shadow the what that single shadow collection I have curated from the Glam shop, and y'all know I have never been one to be like, oh my god, look at all of these single shadows, but somehow I am like the somehow I am the single shadow queen when it comes to the Glam shop. Like, honey, I'm like, you can tell me nothing, just give them to me, because the formula is just so good. It's inexpensive, it's shiny, it's smooth. The glitter, I mean, these shades right here, they look like they would have a ton of glitter, but they're pearls, so it's not gritty. They're not gonna irritate your eye. You don't have to use much effort to use them. Some of them you do need a glitter glue with, but I don't find that discouraging. I mean, even with the Kaleidos, I needed somewhat of a glitter glue, but like, honey, like, they have just elevated the game for me. So those are the palettes that I have tried recently. We have some fun things coming in. I mean, once the pre-orders get here, but you know, nonetheless, I just wanted to share my thoughts. I just wanted to rank the palettes because, like I said, I always want to make sure I'm coming back and I'm giving my full impression of the palettes and what I think about them after I've been using them outside of the looks that I create here for you guys. And then I also thought, like, you know what? I have some palettes I just haven't had time to get around to on camera. So I needed to talk about them and let you know, just in case like some of these palettes were on your radar. But let me know down below, do you have any of these palettes? Are you checking for any of these palettes? If I was just to recommend anything, this, Alien. And of course, this is coming back for pre-order very soon. Those are my super recommendations, okay? So let me know down in the comments which palettes you have, which ones are your favorite, which ones are you checking for, are you not checking for. Give this video a big thumbs up, hit the notification bell so you know when I come out with another video, which will be very, very soon. And subscribe to my channel because you know I would love to have you here in my little makeup family. And with that being said, you already know what time it is. It's time for the Chat Dance. Hey, 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 Chat Dance. Chat. All right, y'all. Bye.